So it's about changing your instincts and turning them into insights and being thoughtful about what you do. Thoughtful is a very powerful word, full of thought. When you're conscious of what you're doing, you're just more likely to do it more often, and you're more likely to teach it. There was a hospital in Boston, Massachusetts, and they were going to get rid of most of their RNs because it was cheaper to not have them. And so the Board of Governors, the Director of Nursing said, before you make that decision, what I'd like you to do is to job shadow a nurse for half a day. And so every board member was assigned to a nurse, and the only thing the nurses were told to do differently was to think out loud. So while a board member was watching a nurse give a bed bath, which looks interesting enough, the nurse also out loud did a full body assessment. And that's when the board started clicking in that what many of you do is quiet. It's inside, it's what you know. And unless you say it out loud, you can't really role model what it is that you're doing. It's the same for family members. When we're in a hospital, we're often told, or asked very gently, to leave the room when anything is being done. And then the next day, when the person comes home, we're supposed to be able to know how to do that, yes? How many of you have ever given a bed bath before? Let me explain to you. You'll understand this. When I talk to family groups and people who've never done personal care, they don't get this, but you will understand this. My mother came home from hospital, and on her first day home, my dad and I said, would you like a bed bath? We had never seen a bed bath in hospital. We were always in the hallway. And so I said to my dad, how do you do this? And he says, well, I've never seen it. It can't be that hard. I used to bathe you when you were a baby. First clue, this wasn't going to go well. So what we did, and my mother, perfectly awake, alert, competent to speak, let us do it this way without any, because she didn't want to make her husband and son feel bad. So we got lovely warm water, regular towel out of the bathroom and stuff. And this was in January on the 15th floor of an apartment building with a bit of a draft in her room. And so we took off the bed sheets. She helped us take off her pajamas and stuff, and we washed her from head to toe, and then we dried her from head to toe. See, now when I do this anywhere else, no one, because it sounds perfectly logical. Yes, a baby head to toe, dry head to toe, right? Well, this is, less than 2 feet, and that was considerably longer. So she had goosebumps. This is that you could ride like those Hot Wheel cars on. They were quite profound. So the next day when the home care nurse came and said that she was going to give a bed bath, she said, have you done one of these before? Oh, yeah. And she said, so how did you do it? And we described it. And she didn't go like you, oh. She didn't do that. Her body language was interesting. We didn't understand what it was. She said, why don't you watch what I do? And maybe you could help. And so when we saw her keep my mother covered, take the bed sheets off and wash one arm and then dry one arm, we said, that makes sense. But if you've never seen it before, you go to what you know. And most of family members' instincts aren't really all that good. And so the more you teach, the more you think out loud, and the more you demonstrate. How many of you work in a hospital? A couple of you? When you have an opportunity to teach, not everyone will want to do this, but if you say, would you like to stay and help? That would make us feel so much more confident when we bring the person home. So insights and thoughtfulness are the key to what we're going to look at today.